Steve Moran here. I'm talking to Terri Sullivan today, and we are going to talk about, well, what are we going to talk about, Terri?
Today, we're going to talk about personalization and improving discovery in senior living.
Awesome. First, let's talk about who you are and what problem you solve for senior living operators.
Sure, absolutely. My name's Terri Sullivan. I am founder and CEO of AgingChoices, and what we focus on is helping senior living providers connect and engage with prospects and help them use the data that we collect to provide a more personalized, better customer experience for consumers.
Cool. So let's talk a little bit about personalization. How do you go about doing that? Why is it, maybe before we talk about how you do that, let's talk about why that's so important.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you think about the process that a consumer goes through when they're looking at senior living options, there's a lot going on. It's an emotional decision. It's an expensive decision. There's a lot involved with it. It's a lifestyle decision. It's not just about housing and care. It's about that person and what's important to them. So for us, the reason we started AgingChoices was we really wanted to focus on our real mission is to help personalize and help a consumer through the process of aging choices. So the ability to do that. So our data that we collect demographic data, we collect lifestyle data, we collect intent data. What do they want to do? How do they want to do it? How do they want to be communicated with? And financial data. So we provide that data to the providers through our tools. And then the sales professionals can use that data to improve the experience for the consumer and personalize the process. And then marketers in senior living can use that data to better target and focus on those, on who they're trying to bring into their traffic channels for their marketing. So pretty simple. So what we do is our tools sit on senior living provider websites or on agingchoices.com. We engage the consumer in technology and experience an experiential survey through our Navigator. And what we do is we help collect data. So the salespeople, if you think about a consumer, they may not be ready to engage with the salesperson immediately, but if you can engage them on your website, especially now that consumers are shopping differently. The pandemic changed that a great deal. Consumers are shopping on the internet a lot, is how do you capture them? How do you turn them from traffic, a visitor, into a conversation? So our tools help engage them, but while we engage them, we collect data. And the reason we think they share that data is because they want someone to help them.
I'm just sitting in the consumer seat for a second.
Yeah.
Okay. And then now I'm going to move to the provider seat. And so when they fill that out, I get some sort of a communication from you saying, Steve Moran has just filled out, have given us all this information. What do I, as a sales professional in senior living, what do I do with that information?
Yeah, so there's one thing that's really important to note is that our surveys are experiential. They're done with images and pictures. So they feel light, it feels easy. It's more done with icons and not cartoons, but a very soft approach, right? Once the consumer fills out that survey, our system automatically sends an email notification to the sales professional, and they get all of that data in one email that says, it's Betty, this is what she's looking for, this is what's important to her, this is what she likes to do, this is how she preferred to be communicated to, here's her contact information, right? And what we do is we're working on a training right now for AgingChoices Academy that's based on how do you use all these different levels of data to improve discovery, to enhance discovery, to have a better personalized conversation, to provide a better customer experience for that consumer that's personalized to them. Consumers want personalization and they expect it. So if you're just treating everybody the same, you're not giving that experience of helping somebody see themselves living there, no matter where they are in the spectrum of their search. Does that make sense?
It does, because one of the things that occurs to me is that when I'm looking for something that's expensive and complex, I want somebody who can actually help me figure it out while at the same time not just pressuring me to buy their solution. Right. And so this sounds like a really good process for the consumer so that I've got a better experience, which means that I already go into this thing having better thoughts about senior living rather than terrible thoughts about senior living. Is that fair?
Yeah, it feels more lifestyle, right? It feels like they care about what's important to me and I'm trying to make this decision. And I think that's really an important part of it, is that the consumer needs to feel they're in some sense of control. They want to provide this information clearly, or they wouldn't. We've collected thousands and thousands and thousands of surveys. So really what it is about, the providers themselves, it's really about how do you leverage this information? Send them information if they're concerned about relocation or their pets. Send them information on what you do for relocation and their pets. Like really focus on their core needs.
I'm thinking, wouldn't it be cool? And I don't know whether anybody's doing this or not. And I want to actually talk a little bit about results. But one of the things I guess I'm thinking here is, wouldn't it be cool if I, as a salesperson, after I got this data, sat down and recorded a little 45-second video and say, hey, I just saw you contact us, and I see that you're really interested in what you're going to do with your pet, and I got a couple of pictures, and I just want to tell you how pet friendly we are and how cool this is. Yeah. Not necessarily a sales pitch, but just hey, I want to have a conversation, right? It would be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it would be amazing.
Well, there's a lot of companies that are doing that right now, and we use it internally too. I mean, we love doing that. But in the Aging Choices Academy that I'm releasing on using discovery data, we do a sample using BombBomb. Heart Legacy does it as well. But actually saying, you asked us to send you an email. I just wanted to introduce myself. My name's Terri at Blank Community. And oh, by the way, you mentioned you're concerned about your pet. Hey, we have our own internal pet. Her name is Belle. And when you come and visit us, we'll introduce you to Belle. And by the way, what would you like to do next? The typical process is people visit our community, or they do a virtual tour of our community, depending on where the community is in their process with the pandemic and stuff. But it's really about educating. It's about using this information and just providing a better experience overall.
Can you talk to me about how you measure effectiveness? I mean, does it, at the end of the day, I mean, I love all this, but at the end of the day, if I'm an operator, I still have got to know that it's going to help me get more move-ins, right? So talk to me about that.
No, it's getting better and better because our partners are giving us access to more and more of their data, which is great, right? So we send all this great data, or it goes into their CRM. We do integrate with CRMs as well. So all that information goes in, and very often it's a one-way push into the CRM, and we don't have access to the results of that. But our partners are getting, very great. It's been awesome at sharing that data back. So we have one customer who just started with us with 13 communities 60 days ago. They had 7 move-ins very, very quickly, and they were able to attribute that to about $775 per move-in, which is much lower than other companies or lead sources, right? And that they, figured out on a 21-month period that's worth, whatever that is, $775,000, based on $3,900 a month, right? So it was easy. It paid for the program for all 13 communities annually. So it was very quick ROI. Now with the Navigator, our new product, which sits on your website and converts traffic into conversations and also holds our survey, we're just launching that. So we will have more analytics on that as we go, as we work closely with our partners. But we're seeing really tremendous success. And in most cases, they see results within the first 60 days.
And we personally love the Navigator. We just installed it. You can see it on the Senior Living Foresight. Yeah. And honestly, we have played with chatbots and other kinds of AI things. It is the coolest thing that we've ever done. So I really am excited about it. And of course, you can see it on your website as well. So
well, thank you for putting it on there, because I think at the end of the day, it'll be new versions and iterations. But first, it's how do we simply just connect consumers to what they need or what they want to learn, and then we'll build off of that, schedule a tour, click to call, and add all those things in that make it more rich with all the CTAs. But I think if you keep it simple for consumers, they're already overwhelmed. So we tried to create it in the most simple manner, but really beautiful and really blends with your brand.
I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
I look at what you and some of our other partners are doing, and I think if every community did this stuff, they would outperform the marketplace. They'd be full, they'd be celebrating. And of course, it's not just the marketing. You've got to back it up with really good operations. But this is the problem I think we face so often is we actually have good operations, but we don't do a very good job of telling our story. And this is about telling the story better. So this is really cool.
That's awesome. And, I think it's really important too, is we learned through value creation and working with our partners that there's really a need for a little bit of sales training on understanding what to do with discovery data. And we're going to release a whole Senior Living 101 thing around discovery and enhancing discovery. So if we continue to add value for the industry, it will help. And I think that's key to this, is helping them operationalize products that entrepreneurs bring into the space.
Terri, thank you very much. Great conversation. I love what you're doing to make the world a better place.
Thanks, Steve, and thank you for what you do too.